January 7th, regular school board meeting for the Stanley County Board of Education to order. I'd like to first say we all up here love technology. And there are several of us that are having some issues tonight, so we're going to just do the best we can. Before we have our invocation and pledge, I just wanted to say a few words about January being National School Board Appreciation Month. I just wanted to take a moment just to kind of express my gratitude to the ones who are setting up here. You know, it is a lot of unwavering dedication and commitment, and we do that for our students and for our staff and for our community. Every person that's sitting here, I believe, plays a crucial role in shaping the future of our education in our county. And I believe that we have a really hard-working group of people here. So this month, I'd like to say let's take pride in the achievements that we've made and reflect back on the impact of the work that we've been able to do together. We're not only influencing educational policies, but we're also, I believe, inspiring the future generations to reach the fullest potential that they can. So I just want to thank all of you for your service and for your hard work, for your passion, and for the collaboration that we have together. You know, I really feel honored to be able to work alongside every one of you, and I just want to thank you again for all the work that you do. So if you will just join us, Mr. Swanson will have the invocation, and then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the countless blessings we have received and for the opportunity to meet this evening on behalf of Stanley County Schools. We ask that you bless our efforts with your divine guidance, leading our deliberations and actions to be of the utmost benefit to our students. We also ask that you watch over and protect our students, staffs, and their families. In Jesus' name.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. First on our agenda is recognition of the Stanley Stars, and Dr. Dennis and Ms. Lydia Hedrick will take care of that for us.
Good evening. Each month, Stanley County Schools selects 2 stellar certified and classified employees to recognize and celebrate as Stanley Stars. This month, as I call our employees up for recognition, if you'll please stay up front for a group picture. And we're also going to give you the opportunity, the board, would like to take the opportunity to thank you for the job that you do each day. So after the picture, they would like to be able to shake your hand and say a few words. First, I would like to call up Susan Bird. Miss Bird is Aquadel's curriculum coach. She assists staff with planning student learning activities. She also works with students in small groups to improve their reading and math skills. She has been instrumental in coordinating common planning activities and allowing teachers to observe each other and vertically plan. Her enthusiasm for the job, which I have witnessed firsthand, is contagious, but her love of life and people makes her a great coworker. She genuinely wants the best for everyone around her and works to support the Aquadel community in reaching their goals. Please give Ms. Bird a round of applause. Next, we would like to recognize Mallory Harrington. Ms. Harrington is an instructional assistant that serves Aquadel's 4th and 5th grade students. She leads small groups of learners in math and reading throughout the day, and in the afternoon, she steps in and teaches social studies and science to a 4th grade class. She has worked to create trust and a community with her students and coworkers. Her presence at Aquadel each day elevates learning in 4th and 5th grade. Ms. Harrington's willingness to help where needed is fundamental to our daily success, and I know personally that your principal very much appreciates everything that you step in and are willing to do. Please give Ms. Harrington a round of applause. From Albemarle High School, if Ms. Sarnia Irvin could join us up front. Miss Irvin is a dynamic force at Albemarle High School, bringing her passion for math and decades of experience to inspire and challenge students daily. Her enthusiasm for math is infectious, motivating students to stretch beyond their perceived limits. Both demanding and supportive, she fosters a culture of excellence through innovative teaching and creative approaches to learning. A true teacher leader, Ms. Irvin collaborates across curriculums to improve outcomes at Albemarle High School, spearheading initiatives like Work Key reviews and Math 1 study sessions to ensure student success. Her impact reaches far beyond the classroom, shaping a brighter future for all. And I think we can all be impressed with anyone that teaches high school math. Please give Ms. Irvin a round of applause. Next, if Ms. Keisha Branch can join us up front. Ms. Branch is a cornerstone of Albemarle High School, serving as the ISS coordinator and wearing many hats with unwavering dedication. She strikes the perfect balance of love and structure. She quickly earns the respect of students, although her classroom is a place they would rather avoid. That's a positive. Her ISS space is the epitome of order and productivity, where no task is left undone and no student sleeps on the job. It's not unusual to see students stop by during transition to say hello or just check in with her. A proud bulldog through and through, Ms. Branch's reliability, dependability, and team-first attitude make her an invaluable member of the AHS family, and we are very much appreciative of anyone that is willing and able to successfully serve in ISS. Thank you. Please give Ms. Branch a round of applause. And at this time, we're going to take a group picture, and then I know the board would like to thank you for your work.
Count three. 1, 2, 3.
Thank y'all very much. All right.
Ladies, if we could get you to just come down through and shake the board's hand.
They're just going to shake from up here.
I don't expect it today. Thank you for everything you do.
Can I say something about this?
Yes, ma'am.
As an immigrant from Charlotte, Mecklenburg, I would like to say to you guys that your children are absolutely wonderful. So are the teachers that I work with here. I have come back year after year because this is a beautiful place to work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we just want to congratulate all four of you ladies. It's nice to see the ladies, so we appreciate all that you do. Well, we definitely, the school system could not function without you, so we do appreciate it. Next on our agenda is the Curriculum Associate Extraordinary Educator, Ms. Emily Emery, and Mr. Lynn Plummer is going to do the recognition for this.
I am not the extraordinary lady, but I'm going to bring you another one. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Teachers and students across the district are familiar with iReady, a product of Curriculum Associates. I'm thrilled to announce that one of our own has been selected as a 2025 Curriculum Associates Extraordinary Educator, a prestigious recognition honoring top educators nationwide who go above and beyond for their students. This achievement highlights a teacher's dedication to excellence in teaching and their impact on student success. Extraordinary educators receive national and local recognition for their outstanding work. access to a network of exceptional educators across the country, professional learning opportunities to continue growing their skills, and the chance to attend the Extraordinary Educators Leadership Summit. Please join me in congratulating not only Stanley County's first recipient, but also one among the first in North Carolina, Miss Emily Emery, fourth grade teacher at Richfield Elementary School.
Congratulations.
Thank you. No, goodness. Open? Okay. I don't know.
We'll do count three. Count three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
You can stand now.
Emily, that is quite an accomplishment. You know, when I read this and it says for those teachers who go over and above, and to hear that you are the first one in our county and almost in the state, that is quite an accomplishment. So we are very proud of you and thank you for what you do. Next on our agenda is the Top Growth Award. Dr. Dennis.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. Now that everything's certified by the state and report cards are coming out and everything, we are going to recognize our top growth schools for the 23-24 academic year. And so without getting on my stump, you know, some children and some schools in some areas come better prepared than others when it comes to proficiency, but growth is something that every teacher should strive, and they can, no matter where the student comes in, being able to move the student forward is extremely important. I always tell principals, if you can grow your kids, the proficiency will take care of itself eventually. So we are going to recognize those schools with top growth for the past academic year. And we have 4 categories. The 4 categories are, we'll do the elementary schools, the middle schools, the high schools, and the choice schools. So without further ado, our top growth school for the elementary with a growth index of 3.91 exceeding growth in elementary is Baden Elementary School. Is Baden here? Here we go. Congratulations, Ms. Herring. All right. Next is our middle schools, and the middle school this year with the highest growth, meeting growth at a 0.97 index, South Stanley Middle School. Next, I'll do our high schools. High school with the highest growth for the 23-24 school year, meeting growth with a 1.02 index, West Stanley High School. And last but not least, our choice school with the highest growth for the 23-24 academic year, exceeding growth with a 4.99 growth index, Stanley Early College. Congratulations, and I think the board would like to congratulate you as well.
Count three. 1, 2, 3.
Could we also just have any of the teachers that are here that are with the early college to just stand and be recognized? You are part of this for sure, you all are. Next on our agenda is closed session, so I'll entertain a motion for the board to convene in closed session, to consult with an attorney and preserve the attorney-client privilege pursuant to General Statute 143, 318, 11A3, and consider confidential personnel matters pursuant to General Statute 143, 318, 11A6, and also student matters pursuant to General Statute 143, 318, 11A1. Do I have a motion?
Make a
Move
motion.
we go into closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Consider us in closed session. Next on the agenda is public participation at board meetings, and we did not have anyone signed up to speak. So we will move on to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Next is committee reports. The only report we have tonight is from the Capital Improvement Planning Committee, Ms. Glenda Gibson.
I believe that was back on 12/19, I believe, December 19th, that we met. And the main part of our meeting was to hear Mr. Eli Williams, who's sitting there, and he brought before us some plans of what he wanted to do there around the Webb Field, as far as beautification and adding some historical value back to that. And I know, Mr. Williams, come on up. I know that for the board, I think we presented this, that he has received his grant, and I know that tonight the board is coming out of committee, so we will need board approval for him to move forward with this, and he does have a timeline. So I'm going to turn this over to you because I think you have some slides for us.
Yeah, absolutely. How are y'all doing? My name is Eli Williams. Just a little bit about me. I'm 22 years old, just graduated from UNC Chapel Hill, and recently moved back to Albemarle to start a business with my brother where we paint murals and signs. So as you can see, I'm talking about the Webb Athletic football field where I plan to add a mural and signage. So a little bit of history. I grew up right across the street from the football field, right on 3rd Street. So the school and the football field were always a huge part of my childhood and life growing up, whether it was walking to school or just playing on the football field after school hours. So moving back home, I saw a perfect opportunity to bring some of my skill set to this football field in this area. And so I saw the opportunity with the North Carolina Arts Council Artist Support Grant, which I ultimately received and was one of 6 applicants, where I was awarded the full $3,000 amount. $2,000 of that will be for supplies and all of the paint and materials to do the painting and murals. And $1,000 of it is the artist fee, which will be split between my brother and I doing the work. So there'll be 2 phases. So the first phase will kind of be signage. It's a little bit smaller and not as much work as the mural. So as you can see here on the ticket booth, we'll be repainting the home and away signs. That'll also be reflected on the opposite ticket booth on the other side of the street. There'll also be signage on the new restrooms that the Y just redid, as well as signage on the concession stand. And then the bulk of the project will be in phase 2, which is the mural. And as you can see on the next slide, this will be the entire wall. It's a little hard to get a picture of the full wall since it's 100 yards long. It will be the entire wall facing Montgomery Avenue. And the next slide shows the design in which I plan to paint there. So as you can see, it says success starts here, which I think is just a nice little positive phrase, which goes really well with elementary school. And then on the right is 3 portraits, which is kind of my specialty with the spray paint, so it's a part I do want to have in there. Portrait of 3 kids, all smiling, looking like they're having a great time. And then the next 2 slides are just up-close images, if you have trouble seeing that. And yeah, that's what I have for y'all.
And I think you told us that you want to actually be able to use some of the students from Central and the portrait that you're going to paint.
Yep, so I haven't gotten along to that yet, but I do plan to work with the arts teacher at the elementary school and have her, whether it's picking or kind of just taking a bunch of pictures with consent of the students, obviously, and just kind of using students who actually go to the school, which I think could be a really fun part of it, and then they could be driving down the street and say, hey, look, that's me painted up there, which I think could be really fun and cool. Yeah. And this project is supported by the North Carolina Arts Council, a division of the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources.
So, Ms. Gibson, you said he does have a timeline for this
I do
project?
have a timeline. What is your timeline that you
Sorry
have
about
to
that.
get everything finished?
Yep, so for the grant, it has to be done before June 1st of 2025, but I do plan to do it starting in either late February or early March, whenever it starts to get just a little bit warmer. but it will be done before June 1st of 2025.
So this is coming out of committee?
This
So-
is coming out of committee, and just for the board to know, a lot of work has gone into what Eli has done here, and he has presented with us the facilities committee. And I think we all can say how impressed we are with everything that the Williams brothers have done for Albemarle, but doing this right there at Webb Field, because that field is so historical to us. And the fact, too, that we've partnered with the Y, with the restrooms, we're thankful for the Y with that, partnering with with us. So it's just a continuance of updating and making something that we're just very proud of.
Thank you very much.
And I know the facility committee has talked about some additional cleanup too in that area and around that area and the bleacher area. So that is something that that committee has had discussion about.
And that's something, Madam Chair, that it may be brought before the board at a later time, but right now, the bleachers, there's a lot of structural that is going on with those bleachers. We know when you get into structural things, there's a cost with that. So that is something that I think that we will continue to look at. We'll be talking with Mr. Benton about, but at least this right here is a great start with everything. I'm very impressed.
Thank you very much. Me and my brother are glad we could do some projects around Albemarle, and especially, hopefully, this one, since it's been so close to our hearts, and thank you all very much.
And the intent, Mrs. Gibson, I think coming out of committee was that even if, for the board, that if the bleachers were to be replaced because of the safety issues, that the intent would be to salvage that wall.
I was going to say the wall would
Rebar
still,
going
yeah.
through it, and that the construction efforts that Mr. Benton mentioned would have some added costs, but it would be worth salvaging the long wall.
Madam Chair, since that's coming out of committee, you just need a second.
Yes.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Eli.
And thank you, Eli. Thank you for all you're doing around town.
Of course.
Thank you.
Happy we could.
Thank you so much.
Next on our agenda is the 25-26 school calendar, draft calendar options.
Ms. Hedrick, thank you.
Good evening, board members. Our calendar committee for Stanley County Schools is comprised of representatives from each school. Those representatives are typically their teacher of the year, unless for some reason the teacher of the year is unable to serve, they find a replacement. And additionally, our principal of the year also serves on that committee. The calendar committee began meeting in September to discuss calendar law and policy, and draft calendars were developed. They were then shared with school improvement teams, district departments, certified advisory, and classified advisory committees for feedback. The committee came back together to review the feedback that we received, and adjustments to the calendar were made based on that feedback. And tonight I would like to present to you final drafts that have been produced for your review. I will state overwhelmingly in the feedback that we received, we did receive requests to continue with an early start calendar. So you have before you tonight both a traditional calendar and an early start calendar. And so I'm happy to answer any questions you have about either of those calendars.
Any discussion on those?
No question, just glad that we have the early start back up for an option.
I just want to say that I've received nothing but positive, all positive, never a negative about the calendar. And that's from parents as well as, teachers, staff, grandmas and grandpas, everyone. So in my opinion, I don't even want to consider the others. So,
And Mrs. Hedrick, I believe that the early start calendar lines up with
Yes.
our students in the early college and dual enrollment.
Yes, sir, they do. Those calendars have not been released yet. We did try to work with the local community colleges when planning the calendar, but my understanding is that they're going to use our calendar for their planning purposes.
I'd like to interject real quick. One of the reasons that we decided that we wanted to push the early calendar against the will of some folks up in Raleigh was the academic benefit. And I do believe our test scores at the high school level are improving. If that's part and parcel of that, then I'm fully in support of the early calendar.
So the motion will be to approve the 2025, 2026 school calendars, the traditional calendar, and also the early start calendar, but Stanley County Schools will be following the early start calendar for the next school year.
Yeah, the motion will be to adopt the early start calendar as the primary calendar and the traditional calendar as the backup calendar.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next, we just have comments on the agenda, and I will just open the floor if anyone has any comments that they would like to say. I'm sorry, I skipped completely over you.
It's me again. I'm so sorry.
It's you again, I'm sorry. You sat down and I moved on.
I apologize.
That's okay. I apologize also.
So worried about the calendar.
We got excited about that one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll move on then. Next
Thank
on the
you.
agenda is the personnel agenda.
Yes, ma'am. For your review this evening is the January 7th personnel agenda. Section 1 does not require any action. However, Section 2 does require a vote of approval.
So a motion to approve Section 2 as presented.
Motion to approve section 2 of the personnel agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, we will move on to the next item on our agenda, which are comments. I will open the floor if anyone has any comments that they would like to present.
Well, y'all know I'm going to talk.
That's okay, go ahead.
Real quick, first off, I'd like to pay my respects to the family of a Stanley County hero that lost his life in a terrible accident. I believe it was this morning. He's one of our medical responder types, and that whole end of the county is suffering, but I believe all the EMTs and fire folks as well. On different level or different topic, I am so proud and so embarrassed. I am extremely proud of the people that came up here today to accept those growth awards. I'll say it till I'm dead, that growth is education, education is growth, because it means that whatever the student came in with academically, they left with more, and that's what the growth thing is. So to those people that were recognized, the schools that were recognized, proud of you. The teachers that are in other schools that made or exceeded growth, but schools weren't recognized, proud of you too. The teachers that are striving to get there, please keep doing what you're doing. That's what we're here for. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed and embarrassed. I spend too much time on the internet. Everybody up here knows that. But I stumbled across an article on WRAL. I'm not going to read the 700 words, but according to the Nonprofit Education Law Center, North Carolina received an F for educational funding for the percentage of its gross domestic product it spends on education, and a B for directing funding to lower income kids. So we're getting the bottom kids the best that we can, but we're failing all of them overall. And we are ranked 48th out of 50, which means we're spending about 30% below the national average. People say, well, we don't care about the up north people. We're being compared to South Carolina, Georgia. We are falling behind as a state miserably, and it's an embarrassment. Sitting on $5-6 billion surplus, and we're falling behind. The county level, it's like who cares about these kids that wasn't in this room today or isn't in our schools? County funding, 105th in the state for local funding. That's an embarrassment. And it's down to 106 now. I believe that's the right number. We've got to do something better. We got to start making some noise, because these people in our classrooms that are struggling day in and day out just to maintain, a quality education program, we're not taking care of them. We talk a little bit about being cannibalized by Concord, Cabarrus schools, and Union County and Charlotte Meck, how are we supposed to compete with school systems that have, the pockets are twice as deep as ours? We're just not. And I'm so proud of our Stanley County Schools teachers, the ones that are there, the ones that are trying. But I think it's time to wake up our county commissioners, and I think it's way past time to wake up our General Assembly that's going to sit on the $5 billion, $6 billion deficit while our schools are just basically treading water, and eventually we're going to drown. So, on my high horse, when I read articles like this, 48th out of 50 it's an embarrassment.
Thank you, Mr. Sorensen. Any other comments?
Madam Chair. I just wanted to say congratulations to Emily Emery. I miscalled her by her maiden name. Just a year or two behind me in school. But I've known her a long time. But I recently got to go in her classroom, and they were doing some math in there. And just to see her approach, and she's well deserving of the award that she received. And that's huge for our county. And also just thank you to Eli for seeking out that grant to do that. That's kind of above and beyond what most folks do for our school system. So just really thankful and appreciative of both of those, and congratulate everybody on the awards they received tonight, and hope that all of our students have a great start to the new year. So thank you.
Any other comments?
I just want to call out the early college because I have been so impressed with what they've done. There were 4 teachers, I believe, sitting out in the audience tonight, and I know they stood up, but I don't think the people online watching got to see them. But is it okay if I just call them out by name? Mr. Smith, Miss Sawyers, Miss Ward, and then it's another Miss Smith. There's a lot of S's that we have to keep up with, but I'm just incredibly impressed with the job that they've done, how hard they work, and just the motivation that they instill in the children. In fact, Mr. Smith has motivated my son to maybe possibly even be a history teacher. So if he's still watching, incredible job. I wish there was a Mr. Smith in every single high school. So he has changed my son. He loves civics, and he was ecstatic to go back to school today to start world history. So all of them just do a fantastic job.
Thank you, Ms. Almond. Any other comments?
I want to echo what Ms. Almond has just said. I have a granddaughter there at the early college, and she loves those teachers. And Mr. Smith is certainly one of her favorites. And it's like they just do amazing things, and the students as well, and they just excel. But again, I'm just congratulations to all of our schools and to those that received awards tonight too. I have one thing and of course I'm so proud of Eli with what he's going to be doing, Eli Williams. But I am also happy that our county office has a new building. I am so thrilled with that. I really am. Ever since I have been on this board, that's been a topic. It's been a topic I've talked about amongst board members, people knowing that that working in a cubicle city was not ideal, and that many of you sometimes you never could have privacy, and also the very few offices that you had, you were run out of your offices quite often because people had to have confidential conversations. I am thrilled that that move has been made, and it is a gorgeous building, and you have that privacy. I thought you wanted to say something.
Well, I just want to say, and I think I can confidently say on behalf of the staff, or my staff at least, that we just want to thank the Board of Education for giving us a proper professional office space in which we can be proud of, and that which we don't go to other schools to interview people from out of county because we don't want them to see the office space that we're in, and some other things that, and that was what it is. And I'm not going to go into all the other stuff. You understand it. But just to say, you know, on behalf of my staff and myself, to thank you for making it happen. And it is, we're all very happy. I will say that.
Well, I think we're all very proud as board members that we were able to, you know, and a big shout out here to the finance committee, facilities committees. But it is so true that when you go for an interview somewhere and in a neighboring county, and I've done that, and, you know, your first impression is where you are and what you see. That's what you think of as far as that school system. And, you know, we have something to be very proud of now. And I had to say that.
And something you'll own.
Yes, and we own it. Yes. So thank you to the board members, and I am looking forward to having many of our meetings there now, and looking forward to seeing just how nice it is. No longer.
I'm looking forward to getting out of the dungeon, so when Dr. Dennis calls me on my cell phone, I don't have to run up and run out and miss his call.
Well, and no longer that we're trying to go through a maze of cubicles.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been lost before, and someone had to direct me on how to get out of that cubicle. So, yes.
Thank you, Ms. Gibson. Okay, if there are no other comments, the next meeting for the Stanley County Board of Education will be Tuesday, February the 4th, 2025, here in the Gene McIntyre Room, beginning at 6:15. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Those opposed? We are adjourned.